guys.
Welcome to Faith as Teens.
My name's Annie.
And my name's Maria.
Welcome to our podcast. This is our first episode.
Yes.
It took a while.
It's been in the works since January.
But we thank God. So a little bit about what this podcast is going to be about, just so you can get some context. So obviously by the title, if you're a teen, amazing. You're gonna learn a lot of us and our faith, and we're just gonna be sharing that onto you guys. And if you're an adult, that's fine. Even better. Just
the more the merrier.
Yeah, honestly, there is no like age range for listeners, but we do encourage all the teens out there to start listening to our podcast because it's truly impactful. We have a lot of things to say to you guys. So we're gonna start by introducing ourselves. Almost thirsty. We're gonna start by introducing ourselves. So we'll start with Maria.
Okay. Yeah. My name is Maria. I'm in 8th grade and I'm 14. And I
am super cool.
And I live in Texas. And my favorite Bible verse is Romans 8:18. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us.
That's good. Hi, my name's Annie. My name's Annie. I'm also 14 years old, and I'm in 8th grade. We're also homeschooled. Fun fact.
I forgot about that.
That's good. I don't have a favorite verse because I feel like every verse is amazing. I do in the back of my Bible. You can see it's a little smudged, but it's just a lot of verses that spoke to me. That was us. Now we're gonna share a little bit of our testimonies and a little bit of how how we got here, and yeah. So we're gonna start off with Maria.
Okay. So I have always lived in Texas, and I grew up in a Christian household, but my father was abusive, and so my parents had gotten divorced when I was around like 3 or 4, probably, and really we were just like homeless for the next couple years, and like just struggling to make money and just struggling to like make ends meet. So yes, and then we ended up getting an apartment, and my mom had gotten a job, and my sister had gone to this school, and that's where she met my stepdad, and they ended up getting married, and my biological father also had shared custody of us, so he was also very like neglectful whenever he had us, so we'd always come home like with like gum in our hair. And then so after that something happened, and my dad had like not told my mom where we were, so he ended up like the thing ended up changing to where my mom had us, and like we would only have supervised visits with him, so my mom would have to be there, and I guess he just didn't really want that, so we just ended up just like losing contact with him, I guess, and he never really made an effort, which like I guess praise God. But yeah, so my parents and so we just like ended up like completely stopped seeing him, and I had always been Christian, and I had always like known about God, but it was like that like I was a child and I never really like took that faith on for my own and took it on as like my identity. And in 2023 my brother went to jail for a year, and that was just a really hard time for us. It was really like a struggle on my mental health and just like my spiritual health, I guess. I don't know. That okay? And like my spiritual health, and because we were also being like kicked out of our house at that time, so we were moving, and my mom was depressed from being from my brother being in jail. So it was just like a lot for us. And at that time, I was like watching my siblings and like helping people and helping them move. So it was really hard. And then my brother got out and he was saved. And really, that like just seeing the transformation that the Lord had on him really like led me to like really just look in the Bible more. And like my church does like student camps and stuff, so that really just helped me to get in the word more and just learn more about Jesus and just spend more time with him and grow a personal relationship with him of my own. And yeah.
Amazing. How old were you when you knew that you had to just truly have all your faith put on the Lord?
I was 13. It was last year.
Mm.
It was probably in like January or February when I just like really started to get in the word and really started to like pursue Jesus like as my Lord and Savior and just grow my relationship with him.
That's nice. Mm. Okay, so for me, again, I was born in a Christian household as well. The usual, go to church every day. I mean, not every day, every Sunday, every Sunday, receive from the Word. And so I just never felt that connected to God. I didn't understand why. I felt like going to church was like an obligation, more for religion. And I was small, so I obviously didn't understand. And I saw my siblings, well, my sister, no, my brother, but my sister. Just kidding. No, I always saw my sister just being on these mission trips and how she was so involved with church all the time, just involved in the church all the time. And I saw that as cool, and so I slowly started getting involved to church as well. Um, I was kind of like a popular person at church, and I feel like that obviously felt great when I was small, right? And so then the time that um, we had to move to like 8 hours away from where I used to live, and when I moved away, I was like 10 or 11, and I just felt I had this. I was just so like angry, and I didn't feel like I was gonna find the same popularity back here, or I'd have to like restart everything again. So I fell into pornography in 6th grade, and that was not great, because it was great for me in some way, but not now. Obviously, that I see it now with my eyes really truly open. Just because I would laugh and I'd be popular because I knew some terms and stuff at school, and I started going to. I didn't want to go to church because I felt alone and no one at my school went to church, and if they did, they just went just because. And my church has a Wednesday service for teenagers, for middle schoolers and high schoolers. So when I went for the first time, I didn't like it at all. And then my parents were like, "Well, she has to get involved so that she can get to know friends and stuff." And so I truly started getting closer to church when I went to New York for March, March in last year. No, the year before that. No, no, it was last year. Yeah, sorry. And I went to New York last year for a mission trip, and that's where I actually met Maria. And I feel like that trip just taught me so much about how people are without God, because it's just a big city and with a bunch of necessities. So that's where I learned a lot, and that's where I met her actually. And through that, Maria has been was really like helpful, and she just taught me a lot about what stuff I didn't know about the Bible, encouraged me to learn the Bible myself, and I did at some point. And then my church, our church had a camp, summer camp in 7th grade, and I decided to go. And so we weren't in the same like group or anything, unfortunately. But it was all God's plan because I actually met this other girl. Shout out to Delilah.
We love you.
Yes, we love you.
We love you,
And
Delilah.
I feel like there was a moment. Shout out to my leader Miranda as well.
To my family.
Shout out to my brother.
The
Shout
guy
out
on the
Eden.
street.
The guys playing
guys play
basketball.
The people in the park.
Just kidding. So yeah, shout out to Miranda. I actually missed one of the fun events. This is scavenger hunt, and I just had to pour out. I was crying, and I was like, I just can't do this anymore. I don't want to live in that feeling of, um, like, of that guilt. Well, my leader, she helped me through that, and I feel like that was like an amazing day for me. It was like my spiritual birthday, and that's where I realized that I wanted to get closer to God. That's my testimony. Yeah, shout out
So
to all
good.
those people. So yeah, that was a little bit about us.
Yes.
Throughout the podcast, you'll be knowing a lot more about us. So yeah, so how we met each other, you might be wondering that at some
Yes.
point. You'll be like,
Yes.
no. So I did mention in my testimony that I met her in New York. So
Yes.
go ahead, share your side of when you
Okay.
met me.
So I remember. I thought Annie was like super. Annie was like super to herself. A little bit. That's what it seemed like. That's what it seemed like. And then I met her, and she's like the most craziest chicken jockey you'll
Get it out.
She's the most craziest person you'll ever meet. She's like so full of energy, and like
Sometimes, not in the morning. Not in the morning.
not in the morning. She's mean in the morning. No, I'm just kidding. But going into that mission trip, I only knew one person, I think. Yeah, I only knew one person that was going, and I was really nervous because I was like, I don't know any of these people on the trip. But like, even the first night that we met each other, like the Wednesday that we met each other, we were sitting together and we were talking and laughing, and like even that was just like we were already like bonded going into the trip, and like we already knew each other, and like on the trip we just got even closer, and we stayed up pretty late.
Pretty late. We got assigned to do testimonies for the church, and we were planning it. That's kind of how it brought us closer to each other. Oh wait, you're supposed to be sharing. Oh, sure.
Yeah. So they asked us, they were like, okay, who wants to share their testimony? And we both raised our hands, and no, I was kidding. Volunteers tribute. No, and so we had been picked to do our testimony or share our testimony, and through that we just really got closer because we just stayed up like the night before to like 2 or 3.
I think it was like 3 in the morning.
It was like 3 in the morning, and we just stayed up just like talking to each other and just like learning about each other's lives and like sharing our testimony with each other, and it was just like so amazing.
Yeah. My name's it. Just kidding. New York was kind of like the point where I was getting closer to the church. And I didn't know anyone at all. I just knew the ants that were climbing up on the wall. Not even them I knew. I'm just kidding. So when I met Maria, it was a meeting before. And we were just, how do I say this? I'm just kidding. So we had a meeting just to meet all of the people who were going, which was pretty helpful, pretty useful. And I saw her sitting with the girl she knew. I was just like, oh, she's already friends with someone. Maybe I'll go with this other girl, one of the other girls. So then I just saw her, and I was just kind of scared, intimidated about everyone who was going because I was like, they all know each other. So, and my dad. Oh my gosh, my dad. Oh my gosh. Shout out to my dad. He's a very social person. So when I met everyone, he met everyone. for me. And
I
it was
remember
just
meeting
like,
your parents.
it was just so weird. And so then through all that, I was just looking at Maria, and one thing our pastor told us, he was like, y'all are y'all. He was like, y'all are the dream team. Like, and we didn't even know each other. We were just like, okay, perfect.
Anyways.
And so yeah, upon the trip, we had to share testimonies. I feel like we were just truly. I just feel like we were sharing our life stories, and after that, I felt like I've met her for like 10+ years, and I just can't believe
We've only known each other a year.
we have so many inside jokes, and it's just like we just bring each other closer to God, and that's what I like about Maria too. She just pushes me to exceed the limit, and just kidding, you don't teach me that. I teach myself that.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Oh. She likes to slap my back a lot.
So yeah, that's how I met her, and this year we actually, we'll share about that in the next video. We went to New York.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And we vlogged for you guys right before we did this video, which is kind of wonky, but we didn't have our beautiful equipment before, like Minecraft before New York. Sorry, before New York. So we didn't have anything to record the first episode. So first we went to New York, and then we're recording the episode now. That's the chronological order. So thank you guys for tuning in again. Next episode will be our vlog of New York. So stay tuned for that.
If you're watching this, then my challenge to you is to share the gospel with somebody.
Of the week.
Share the gospel with somebody, or just share your testimony, or share something about the Lord with them.
Yeah. Share anything that the Lord puts in your heart.
Yeah.
Be a disciple.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll be like this in every episode. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for clicking in. See you later, alligator.